Hidden in our oceans lies a multi-billion-dollar theft that fuels modern slavery and destroys the very food source of our continent while the world looks away. African nations are finally standing up to say, no more. We are witnessing a historic shift in power. The Mombasa Declaration isn't just a piece of paper, it is a declaration of sovereignty. Today, we are diving deep into how 15 African nations have united to shut down illegal, unreported, and unregulated or IUU fishing. This isn't just about fish. It's about reclaiming our resources from global pirates and ensuring that the wealth of our seas stays in African hands. To understand why this is such a massive win for the continent, we have to look at the history. For decades, African waters were treated like a Wild West because many coastal nations lacked the petrol resources or the unified political will to police their borders. Foreign fleets, often operating with little to no oversight, were essentially looting our seas. This wasn't just a local issue. It was a global exploitation of African resources. For years, international laws were weak and easily bypassed by massive industrial corporations. The result? Fish stocks were decimated, local artisanal fishers were pushed into poverty, and the very ecosystem of our coastlines began to crumble. We weren't just losing fish, we were losing our future food security and our ecological heritage. Now, let's look at the staggering reality of what is happening right now in these waters. It is a crime that most Western media outlets rarely touch on because it is too dark to report easily. 1 in every 5 fish consumed globally is linked to illegal fishing. This isn't just a poaching problem, it is a human rights catastrophe. Estimates show that more than 120,000 fishers are currently trapped in situations of modern slavery. They are forced into labor on boats that operate outside the law, far from any oversight, where human trafficking and exploitation are rampant. When we allow these vessels to operate in our waters, we are essentially allowing a slave trade to flourish under the guise of commercial fishing. Like this video, help more Africans see the story. This is why the Mombasa Declaration is so revolutionary. It brings together 15 nations who have decided that they will no longer be the silent victims of global greed. By creating a unified front, these nations are making it harder for foreign actors to play one country against another. They are building a collective defense. Key players involved include not just Kenya, but a coalition of coastal neighbors and regional powerhouses who understand that our oceans are our common heritage. These countries are now coordinating patrols, sharing satellite intelligence, and creating a unified legal framework to punish those who dare to plunder their waters. They are moving from individual defense to a massive, continental shield. This is the Africa Rising narrative in its purest form. For too long, the narrative around Africa has been one of vulnerability. But look at this move. By standing together, these 15 nations are demonstrating that when we unite, we can effectively push back against the interests of those who want to exploit our resources for their own profit. This is about economic sovereignty. It's about ensuring that the wealth generated by our waters benefits African children, fuels African industries, and supports local economies. This move signals a shift in how the world views Africa's role in global trade. We are no longer asking for permission to protect what is ours. We are establishing the rules of engagement. By shutting down IUU fishing, these nations are protecting their biodiversity and ensuring that the blue economy becomes a primary driver of African wealth in the 21st century. What does this mean for our future? It means an era where African coastal communities can thrive without being outcompeted by foreign industrial giants. It means cleaner oceans, more sustainable fish stocks, and a legacy of protection for the next generation. We are moving from a period of extraction to a period of preservation. Subscribe for honest, Pan-African analysis you won't find on CNN or BBC. We are witnessing the birth of a unified front that will define our maritime destiny. The era of being an easy target is over. The era of African maritime dominance is beginning. Check out this next video where we break down how these 15 nations are restructuring their coastal economies. But before you go, I want to hear from you in the comments. Do you believe a unified African maritime force is the key to our economic independence? Let's discuss below. Your voice matters for the movement of a united Africa. Outro music fades out.